Hey everyone, a little catch-up drop. It's Thursday morning here at Arthur Finlay College, our second last day of the second course. But firstly, I wanted to say I've had a few messages from people regarding the last drop because it cut out early. I'm not 100% sure why. It may be a storage thing on my phone. So you can catch it over on TikTok, or if you want to get the rest of the story, just pop me a message and I can send you the video. So that's number one. Now, following up from the exercises yesterday, so a little recap, we were psychically reading each other's family trees with the intention of perceiving names of siblings, parents, grandparents on both sides, and also significant dates. So the objective was to try and psychically zero in on detail, whereas what we normally do when we get psychic information or mediumistic contact is we unpack that information. So it was a reverse dynamic, and the issue for me is that I go into guess mode, and I move out of my psychic mind, or I move away from the person in spirit that I'm working with, and I just start guessing, which is useless because if you think of all the possible names there are and all the possible dates there are, it's just impossible to do. So I had some success working psychically on this yesterday, and some interesting dynamics and we were only working psychically. We didn't have a contact from the spirit realm, or the day before, sorry, where I got dates, but they were accurate dates, but they were for the husband and the wife. It was switched over for their birthdays, and so there was some accuracy, but not so much in the placement. And and the other thing that I noticed yesterday was when I was just threw my hands up in the air and I was laughing, and I just spat out a name of John's mother, the man that I was working with, and it was right. So there's something there about staying playful, staying light, keeping the mind wide and spacious, and allowing the psychic information to come in and land. We repeated that exercise yesterday, but with mediumistic contact. So the idea was we switched partners, so there was no sort of retrofitting of what we already knew from our previous partner, made a contact in the spirit realm and got them to tell us the names and the dates in the family tree. And interestingly, that was a lot more accurate. So not entirely, but I definitely got names, definitely got number of siblings, got the dynamics between the siblings, the dynamics with the parents, some family story with the parents. I was working with a really beautiful German girl, and what was also interesting was that the mediumistic contact was her paternal grandfather, who she never met, who never came back from the war. And but it wasn't so much about evidencing the person in spirit, but more working with them to get the detail. And so she didn't know anything about her paternal grandfather other than a couple of stories in the family. But we decided to work with him anyway. Excuse my throat. And it was better. Our tutor reassured us, Penny Hayward, that it's not so much about the accuracy, but more perceiving the movement of your mind, whether you're moving away from the spirit or you're relying on the spirit. I'm definitely catching that more quickly. I know when I'm just going in and wanting to get it right. Of course, for me, accuracy was everything, because that's what I'm like. But there was somewhat more success with that. What was interesting with the names, though, and this happened both with me and my partner, is that we were perceiving sections of the names, but not the whole name sometimes. And also the syntax of the name, like the sound, or a short name. So there's something about clairaudience which I think is really interesting, and that's what the spirit realm would be using to give us names, is that it seems to emerge. And first of all, for me, I get the rhythm of the name, and then I might get a cluster of letters within the name. And so I feel like that's booting up that sense, and I just need to practice more and sit with it more until the full name drops in. And then And also what I think is to stop trying to get the names, because and just allow the spirit to drop it in. So in the afternoon we did blindfolded demonstrations. So this is where each of us had a turn. We sat in front of our class group, we had a blindfold on, we got a spirit contact through, and our tutor was responding on behalf of the people in the room as to who could take the information and who thought they knew who it was. So we had zero visual or audio cues from the people in the room. So your only course of action is to rely on the spirit that's connecting with you. And I had a fantastic contact with lots of brilliant, really unique, meaningful evidence of my tutor's grandfather, it turned out to be, and he just dropped in his name. So lessons for me are don't try, just trust, basically, and always make sure that I'm leaning back into the spirit and allowing them to communicate what they want to communicate to me. So just fascinating stuff. I'm loving it. And then last night we had the Wednesday night tutors demonstration in the sanctuary, which is this beautiful, sort of holy place here in Arthur Finlay College. And so I got to see my tutor Penny Haywood work and the course organiser Margaret Faulkner work, and they were exquisite. So it was like the precision was out of control, but also it was really interesting to watch them work where they kept levity and fun, and there was a lot of laughter combined with meaning, combined with accuracy of the mediumistic contact. So these women are pros, and I always learn a lot when I watch a really, really good seasoned medium work. So just brilliant. So tonight, I'm not sure what we're doing today. We're going to be doing more demonstrating today in different combinations and different ways to continue on this theme of building out the story of the person in spirit so they can be really felt and it's not generic and it's clearly them, and to find a message in that for the receiver. So always love the demonstrating practice. And then tonight we've got the student demonstrations. So Kerry and I and John and I think someone else in our group is going to be demonstrating for the other class, so which is good in a way because we haven't worked with them that much. We don't know who their peeps are in spirit, so it's really going in fresh and bringing through their loved ones. And it's great to demonstrate in front of new people as well, because there's that opportunity to step through the nerves and just center yourself, stay in the power and just run with it. So that's the program for today. So tons of learning. It's fantastic. When Thursday comes around, I always become very aware that I haven't got that long left here. I've already booked in for next year, which is super funny. And also it just steps me forward so much in my understanding and my relationship with spirit and my technique, so coming back next year, of course. But we've got today, we've got tomorrow, and then on Saturday I'll be heading to Heathrow and winging my way back to Singapore. But I'm not going to think about that just yet. I'm just going to dive into today. So a quick reminder, if you've seen any of the drops and they've cut out short, I haven't heard from anyone on previous ones, but definitely yesterday's cut out short. Just let me know and I can pop you the full link so you can get the rest of what I was talking about when we're psychically perceiving names and dates. All right, everyone, I hope that's got you thinking. You have a great day. I'll be back. Bye.